It's the start of the new year, and several laws have now taken effect here in California, including a new law requiring any employer with 26 or more employees to pay a $15 minimum wage. Aspiring cosmetologists and barbers will not have to complete as many hours to become certified. And you can now eat roadkill. A state pilot program allows you to do just that as long as you report it. And you can now take your alcohol to go. A new law allows the sale of takeout alcoholic drinks through 2026. And I just saw Brianna over there when I mentioned the roadkill law. She's like, I know a lot of people think that, but there's some very serious new laws going into effect as well.
Yes, we are joined now by attorney James DeSimone, who is an expert on civil rights and employment law. Thank you for being with us this morning. And some of the new laws, like the one permitting restaurants to sell alcoholic beverages to go, appear to be in response to the pandemic when customers couldn't be seated. Does this law have a shelf life, and what other laws have been shaped by the events of the pandemic?
Well, it certainly seems to have a shelf life. It's passed and it's going to be in effect till 2026, which is another 5 years. And this is a common sense piece of legislation that allows our favorite restaurants to stay open. They get a higher profit margin on those mixed drinks. It allows people to stay employed. So it really is a great idea. And let's face it, after what we've been through the past 2 years, some of us do need a drink at times, and drinking at home is always safer. Another similar law is all those tents you see where restaurants are able to keep themselves open by serving people outdoors. I think those are probably here to stay. I mean, let's face it, it seems like the COVID-19 is here to stay in one form or another. So we're going to have to keep evolving so that we can keep the economy moving and live our lives.
James, what are some of the other significant new laws affecting civil rights and policing that are taking effect?
Well, there are several new laws that affect policing. First and foremost is the Kenneth Ross decertification law, which allows for a protocol to decertify police officers who engage in severe misconduct or racial discrimination or lying or those types of things. And prior to this, we really didn't have a mechanism to get rid of police officers who were bad apples, as they say. So an officer could go from one department to another. This law allows for a process to stop that. There are other laws, too, that are designed to keep policing safer. For instance, we had the issue of positional asphyxiation in the George Floyd case. I recently took depositions of LAPD officers in a positional asphyxiation case. New officers didn't know that if you keep a person prone on the ground, restrained while their feet are hobbled, that it could restrict their airways and kill a person. In this case, our client's family member died. This passes a law which makes those types of restraint techniques illegal, and so the departments will have to train on them.
And James,
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. I also wanted to ask you about how the pandemic has impacted work life. What can you tell us about changes that might affect employees or people who may have lost their employment?
Well, unemployment is going to be easier to get. If you get denied, you're going to be able to apply for that unemployment, and you're going to be able to give they have to give a reason. And I think that they are definitely expanding those reasons to allow people who can't work because of the pandemic to receive unemployment. There are also protections made for those who are the most vulnerable in the workplace, such as garment workers, to make sure they're getting minimum wage. Of course, the minimum wage is increased to $15 an hour. But I would suggest that the laws that are on the books allows employers to allow people to work remotely, to keep a safe workplace. They're obligated to keep a safe workplace. We've all been through a lot, so both employers and employees, as we go into 2022, let's be kind and let's allow each other to work and to be prosperous.
Okay. And James, on a personal note, what kind of roadkill would you personally go for? What would you eat?
I can't imagine getting a roadkill, but I suppose if there was a deer, that would end up being
okay.
Maybe that, but
okay, gotcha.
Even then, I think I'll stick to the supermarket.
Okay, we just needed to know that. Thank you so much, James DeSimone, for joining us this morning. Have a great day and week in 2022. We appreciate it.
Happy New Year. Thank you.